welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Brienne Beebe. I'm a high school math teacher and I love talking about all things teacher organization. For the past few years on my channel, I've shared about how I've updated my teacher planner, which I created from an ARC notebook. So these are the notebooks that they sell at Staples. They are disc-bound notebooks. You need a special hole punch to be able to add pages to it. So my hole punch is right there in the background actually. And I've been using this for years, but this year I'm going to be switching to using a digital planner on my iPad instead. So let me start by saying that I've always been a die-hard paper planner fan. There's just something about being able to actually write something down that makes all the difference. For me, I'm a kinesthetic learner, so the act of writing something down just helps me memorize it. So sometimes even if I don't look back on my planner, just the fact that I wrote something at one point helps me know what it is that I'm doing, even if I don't refer back to it. So I've definitely, for sure, always been a fan of paper planners. And what has me changing my mind is that I've had some time and experience playing with the GoodNotes app on the iPad. So this is a planner that I created using the GoodNotes app, and what I like about it is it still looks like a regular planner. It has different pages. Because I made it myself, I was able to customize it, but I have like a week at a glance page, blank pages so I could add my own notes. And then I have calendars in there, which is really all I need in a personal planner. And the tabs are linked, so I can't really see what I'm doing. The tabs are linked so I can go to different months and have them all come up. So that digital planner, it's just a simple personal planner. It's actually free, so I'll have it linked down below for you, and it's just fun to play with if you're not sure about whether or not digital planning is right for you. I never thought digital planning would be right for me because usually when people talk about digital planners, it's something that you have to access on your computer, which is kind of annoying because it means that you have to turn it on, wait for things to load, pull it up. My internet is tragically slow where I live, so if it's something that exists online specifically, it's frustrating for me to have to get online to access it. So I've liked having it just right on my iPad. So I like having a planner that's just on my iPad. It's much easier to access than the digital planners that I was seeing previously that again were just all on the computer. So what got me using GoodNotes was different PDFs, like trackers of different things. I had like a nutrition tracker that I was using, a social media tracker that I was using, and I did them all in GoodNotes. So you can essentially just make yourself a PDF, and if you have a Mac, you can AirDrop it onto your iPad, and then it gives you a list of how you want to open it. So I would open these things up in GoodNotes and track everything on there. This past December, I decided to try making like a little planner for business stuff. So it really was like an organizer page for social media, an organizer page for my goals for the month, and then a monthly calendar. And I thought it'd be fun to experiment and see if it was something that would work for me because I purchased, actually I'll get it, it's right here. I purchased a Happy Planner in December, and this was going to be my business planner, but I honestly really hate this planner. So what I hate about it is it's a vertical design. Like it's just like every day just looks like this long to-do list, and I really like something that's horizontal so I could like divide it in half. That's just what makes me happy. Normally I don't get Happy Planners. I had gotten the planners that were by Michaels. It's from their brand called Recollections, and I loved their planners. They were spiral bound. They laid everything out exactly how I wanted, but then this year they changed it and they were no longer spiral bound. So I went with this one. Don't love it, so I won't be using that again. I just actually wanted to go through and talk about why I'm switching planners overall, because I never thought that I would do this for school as well, but I decided that that's what I want to do this year. So this planner is Old Faithful. I will not be getting rid of it. I'm sure that there are things that I'll want to keep reference to in here. So I'm definitely gonna still have it around, but I'm not going to be using it quite as much or in quite the same way. So the first reason why I'm switching is this is a big planner. It's pretty heavy. If I put it in my bag, it takes up like a substantial amount of space and it makes the bag heavier. So I really wasn't taking this to and from school a whole lot. If I brought it home, it was at the beginning of the year when I was doing like the little bit of planning on the weekend. So that was really, it pretty much stayed on my desk at school the whole time, which was annoying because if I needed something from in here, I didn't have it at home. The other thing is that because there's so many pages, it gets to be like really tricky to turn to different pages, and then this thing happens and then you have to wrestle with it to get it to go back. And I know that's something specific to the ARC notebook planner in general, and that's part of the reason why I got these different discs for it. These actually I think are like $20. I got them for like $5 because they were in the wrong spot, and the cashier was very accommodating. I literally had no idea that they were actually supposed to be that much money. But anyway, it got difficult to turn the pages after a while. The paper that I use for this is not like your normal printer paper. I got heavier duty paper so that it doesn't tear as easily, especially at the binding. So it's kind of a process, honestly. If I want to add another page, I have to get the right paper in the printer. I know I definitely bought a pack to keep at school and at home, so I didn't have to worry about I can only do this at home or I can only do this at school. You have to hole punch it, the fancy hole punch thing, and then put it in here. And I do like that I could move the pages around pretty easily, but between it being bulky and whatnot, I'm kind of over it. And what I've been doing that's kind of crazy is I had technically 4 different courses that I was teaching last year. So I printed out 4 different calendars, and each section has its own calendar. Sorry, I'm not even showing it right. So this is like from a different section, and it was just kind of annoying for planning. So I'm using a teacher planner that's digital, and I made up different templates so that I have what I need for how many courses I'm teaching, and I can map out my topics for all of my courses on one page instead of doing this, which honestly I could do in here as well. It's just I'm over this whole thing in general, so I'm kind of excited for a change. From using my business planner on the GoodNotes app on my iPad, I've learned that digital planning, it's so easy to make any changes. So anytime I had a snow day, I was going through this planner, having to erase what I had for that day, and then erase anything else I'd written in after that, rewrite everything all over again. And if I'm planning on my iPad instead, I can literally just circle the text that I want to change and move it to wherever I want it to go. So that's much easier, much faster, and much less frustrating. So I'm excited about that aspect of planning on my iPad. And then the other reason why I'm switching is because it's a lot easier to add, duplicate, move, or delete pages. I now have to go through this planner now that it's finally the end of the school year, take out everything that only pertained to this year, and if I were to use this over again into the next school year, I would have to go through and print a bunch of stuff and add things all over again. And I'm kind of glad I don't have to do all that. It was cathartic, and I'm gonna be honest, enjoyable to do that, but I'm excited to just set up a planner in my iPad instead. So if I had to narrow it down, I'm switching because it's easier to access my plans on the iPad. I can just open up the app, find my planner, get to my page. Whereas having the planner depended on me taking it home, bringing it back and forth. And then the other reason is that it's so much easier to make changes to my plans on GoodNotes because I can just click and drag. I'm not having to erase and rewrite everything. This video got way more rambly than I was expecting, but I suppose that's okay. So I did make a whole brand new digital planner for secondary teachers specifically because I find that people make digital planners as elementary teachers and then they market them to everybody, and secondary teachers don't need the same stuff that elementary teachers do. I do not need to record over 100 different birthdays. I just don't. So I will be sharing a walkthrough of that planner in my next video. Don't forget to check out, you can get access to a free personal digital planner in the description box in case you would like to play around with it. If you have any questions, please comment. And as always, thanks for watching.